Myself, Umapathy, working as a scientist and CCMB, Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. It is one of CSL laboratories, comes under Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The CCMB has established a lab called a Laboratory for the Conservation of Endangered Species in the early 2004 and 5. And there is a separate building for that in near Attapur. Government of Andhra Pradesh has given 6-acre land to build. Otherwise, CCMB is main building is in Hapsikula, where near Tarnapa. But this particular building is exclusively established for the purpose of research on wildlife species, especially endangered species, where we plan to have animal cages where with the help of Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad Zoo and Forest Department. With the purpose, this particular building and other thing is established. This particular building is a very eco-friendly kind of thing, where rock and other things kept as such without damaging anything, and energy efficient building also, not much like required for the data. So the major objective of this research institute, you can say CC-1, we call it as, is to study genetic polymorphism of genetic variability of various endangered species in India, and also to develop various assisted technologies. For example, semen collection procedure, semen intact ovulation procedure, insemination procedures, correct preservation procedure, cloning kind of thing. Similarly, we also developed similar programs on conservation genetics, where we study about genetic inbreeding capacity of a particular animal. Also, we also have another facility called forensic laboratory. In forensic laboratory, we used to get various samples across India to meat or have feather or any bone or dirt, any cooked meat, all kind of samples, even ivories, smuggled one, even crystallized form of even poison, venom from various snakes. They sent to us to identify things. We have established a laboratory called forensic laboratories. So you send any kind of this kind of thing, we can identify what species belongs to. That kind of facility also have. We also have other facility called genome resource banking. This is another interesting aspect of this laboratory, is where you can have all kind of genetic material, from tissue to DNA to semen. Even recently we started keeping stem cells, fibroblast stem cells, where in future you want to establish or you want to create a species of which you may extremely feel that can be stored as you can say as a bank, depository, so that that can be used in future if there is somebody want. For example, cheetah. We don't have cheetah as of now, but we have technology to create a cheetah now. But we were looking for a skin of cheetah, a piece of skin is required to create, but we have no small piece of skin, Indian cheetah, nowhere in India. So that condition we don't want to leave that, so that we have almost so far more than 600 species we have kept in condition and catalog for various purposes. So the three major objectives: genetic studies and reproductive technologies development, also for this purpose, genome resource banking. With the objective, we have some 7 or 8 scientists permanent basis working, and we have quite number of 60 to 70 researchers working in this area. So this has been one of the leading research institute. We have been doing very well, and we could publish world number many publications. Also help Forest Department various issues related to conservation programs. With this background, I just go to that. By today's talk is basically I want to talk about what is importance of vulture, why vulture is important, why you should discuss about what is that the distribution, basically what is the distribution and reason for the decline, and also with reference to Andhra Pradesh, how many species there, what is status now, and what is the causes in vulture, and also what can be done for especially considering breeding program, whether assisted reproduction can be used or what kind of action is required in future for saving these species. This talk will be like that. It will be around 30 to 40 minutes talk. So why everybody here to discuss about vulture? You know, every species in the earth has a right to live. The minimum concept you can have. Every species has a right to live in the earth, and they evolved along with millions of years with other species. Because human indiscriminate use of many things which we should not leave extinct, it has many role to play. So it may be a role. Basically, all the species have a role in ecology. Everybody says there's ecology. When early 80s, 90s, people used to kill snake, basically kill cobras and other things. Now people from snake venom, people identified an enzyme which is very important for treating cancer. So we don't know which species has what kind of role to play in the system. Unless you know details of a particular species, we should not allow them to extinct. Other XYZ, the insect, the animal, plant, whatever it is. So these are some example I am telling. So vulture has its own role, not only ecological, but social, cultural. You know, it is basically scavenger species. They cleanse environment by wherever we throw cattle, and also carry on. Some animals like amulet, other things, died because of some infectious disease. So no other animal can eat, but vulture has such immune capacity to feed upon and survive. So that it has a main duty clean up the environment, though it is infected with deadly viruses. The vulture has such a high immune capacity against all kind of things, and also maintaining balance between other scavenging animals. Like if vultures declines, there's a higher chance of increasing other animals like stray dogs and other scavenging birds, which leads to other problems like increased number of dogs. You know very well, it has other problems like spread of disease, rabies, and also anthrax kind of thing. So that also play major balancing other scavenging species as well as the system. And it can be also measured as health and ecosystem. In tropics of in pyramid tropics of our ecosystem, any ecosystem, this affects predator, and above that it has a major role in the health of ecosystem. So it can be used as a health of ecosystem. And you know, this also, most of you know that this Parsi community they don't contaminate by putting their dead bodies either in water or air or the fire. So they against Panchabhudam like that. They want to have the body should be eaten away by someone else. So traditionally they practice the system where they don't contaminate, pollute any of the fire, which is very important for us. And also you know that this has been in Ramayana and so many things we have been closely associated with our system. So it has so much value. That's why it is necessary to have in our system. So we have you know almost 9 species of vultures present in India, and these are very almost 6 species. This is only 5 species are present here in gift species. The remaining species also present here, but there are, I'm going to talk about mostly this particular species. These species are now very likely in danger, and it is almost critical stage. It may extinct any time, but there are a lot of measures have been taken care of by government as well as other people. I am going to talk about that particular species basically. The distribution, you know that is called white-trumped vulture. There are 3 names: white-trumped or white-backed or oriental white-backed vulture. There are 3 species people use for this species called bengalensis. I have taken data from IUCN, red data list, where you have people are expert all over the world combine and come together and designate species critically endangered status using various methods. So this has been this animals distributed almost southern Asia as well as Southeast Asia, but recently means really 80s and 70s this got extinct this particular place, but still it extends from Afghanistan to Southeast Asia. But this population is just almost 2,500 to 10,000 mature individuals and the trend of population is declining. But the extent is very high, almost 4 million square kilometers is spread over. But still, I can say that this person population is around northern India and northwest India. Similarly, slender-billed vulture, this also almost another species which is declining very fast. Number of individuals as per IUCN criteria is designated as critical endangered species, and this population is almost 1,000 to 2,500 individuals, and the population declining, but is quite 847,000 square kilometers lower than the previous species. It is not endemic to any species, but since they are all basically northern India and other Southeast Asian countries, it has, but still declining very fast. This other species, another species which also comes under a critically endangered category, but it has a good population. This species we have seen in Andhra Pradesh also recently. It has from south to almost western part of northwestern part of India you could find, and though we have 45,000 individuals, but still the population declining alarmingly, and this also needs very serious attention for conservation in India. This other different species which is designated least concern as per IUCN red list category, because it's present almost African, Asian and Europe, wide range of distribution. It was not affected by any other recent phenomenon of which we will discuss today. But similarly, that population also increasing, right? And it has a wide range of distribution, more than 10 million square kilometers, 8%. And other species is Himalayan vulture, where this also designated as a least concern, 20% almost less than 3 million, almost around 3 million square kilometers, basically in Himalayas and northern parts of Himalayas, but the population said to be stable. There is no very much worry about this particular species as of now. So, there are outline about this present status and what is happening in the future. This is the first paper published by Prakash and others from basically BNHS, and this paper published in Biology Conservation in 2003. They first occurred in the early 80s and 90s. They were doing research on raptors in this particular century for quite some time, and they found that the population declined almost 1,000 to few individuals in this particular park, and they also wanted to know is there anything phenomenal to particular park or elsewhere like that. So they also conducted studies across North India using various methods available, using road counts, four-wheel count, all various methods they used, and they found that almost 97% of original population, which they already recorded in previous surveys, and reduced to 97% over a period of time, almost 2 years period of time. A similar observation was observed simultaneously by other people, Irani and other people in Pakistan, but it's in 3 years. 92% decline in Pakistan. And similarly, other countries like our neighboring countries and Nepal also, they found that a very high level of sharp decline, especially 2-3 species from 30-40,000 to few thousand individuals in mid-90s. So all India, all two neighboring countries simultaneously found there's a immediate decline of vultures in 2000, from 2000 to 2004. Also, this other paper also published by later on, also by this gentleman, another where the people who were also involved. They found that even though there are very commonly available species, the number of them declined very sharply, and the estimate they say is almost declined more than 10 times what they expected, unlikely other species, but better than other two species. Though this species are very commonly available still, but they also decline sharply due to various reasons. The reasons were hypotheses. Many people, many different way of looking at species. It's also region-wise. I can myself still I am not believe that only the reason is diclofenac, other things. But I believe there are many reasons, and the recent changes, the situation wise and as well as region wise. And the first they found net grouping. This is a phenomenon where animal used to sit like this and hours together before they died. Because this phenomenon, the paper, previous paper, they mentioned about this paper they mentioned about only reason is net grouping. They don't know about what is the real cause, but they mentioned that it may be a net grouping phenomenon, or they also felt that it may be an infectious disease, and they could not find what reason, but they also tried to find out is there any other reason, pesticides, or also likely reason, also they mentioned is non-availability of food also. So these are the reasons mentioned in the paper. It's not, they didn't come to know that only technical reason, but they found these are the reason, and it was a naturally this is basically the reason behind that particular point of time. But when in Pakistan, same time, there are some 30-40 vultures in Pakistan. Mr. Work and other people, they post-mortem all the vultures did that, and they found most of the vultures had a symptom called visceral gout, an accumulation of uric acid within the tissues, and the surface of internal organs was observed 80% of the gout they found. So that is the first observation made, visceral gout, why it is like that. So, but visceral gout is a young phenomenon of any infection or any other reason, but that's not a disease or anything, it is a young phenomenon of before dying bird that end up with visceral gout and dead. So they also want to check what are the causes. They checked various, they were looking for any virus, they are also looking for electron microscopy, so many things. But they are not able to finalize what the reason behind it. But they also found all negative results of virus after using all the modern technology available. But they could not convincingly and they could finalize this reason like that. But still they were going on working. But one day they found while studying that they found there is a lot of visceral gout, and there is a paper already published somewhere else. Some other birds, like other kind of birds, they have shown that visceral gout is because of some medicine they used elsewhere. So they had some clue about this. There is some reason like that. This paper published in Nature, the top journal in the world, where they found that first diclofenac residues as the cause of vulture population in Pakistan. They demonstrated, not only found, they also found how they did is they have taken all the carcasses and brought vultures, they started treating them, and also they want to know is there anything, they found diclofenac residue was there, and why diclofenac residue was there, they want to know what is the status of diclofenac in the liver and other species. What they did, they orally fed some animals, vultures, it's a definite activity. And also, at the same time, they also fed injected animal cattle before the feeding them and killed them. And also they found that what is happening to that vulture as well. They found almost 13 out of 20 individuals exposed to this kind of thing. And similarly, they also end up with visceral gout or visceral gout. And some of them survived with the low dose. They survived. This is a direct dose given to the animals. And they survived. Some of them survived low dose, some high dose died. They also want to know is there anything directly involved, so they are the residues involved or the animal which is feeding. So the different concentration used in animal treatment, and the meat was taken and given to the animals. And they end up with this conclusive evidence saying that above 0.62 mg per kg of meat, that means ordinary dose of any human dose or any 50 mg of economic meat we have, or any painkiller sufficient to kill the entire vulture which feeding upon carcass or something like that. That was result was very revealing. They really surprised to see. At the same time, they want to check what is the market available, what is the status of market. So they also checked with all veterinarians around and found is who is involved, who is studying. So everybody admitted at a time. All three studies at a time they carried out, and they found that the veterinarian and and the practitioner, they regularly treat the vultures before they died, and the dose was very high dose they used. So there is a paper published by one more author after this, and they found that this 6.2 mg per kg, right? That means some 1000 mg of treatment of a vulture at a single injection after the animal dies, and if vultures feed, entire vulture food will die within 3 days. So RD dose sufficient to kill. That was the model they have shown in another publication, saying that one kills used to kill the entire population of poor feeding like that. That was also demonstrated by various other papers. So that's the reason the diclofenac was so everybody started working. By the time what happened? The government of India and the Parsi community wrote a letter to the central source at India Ministry of Environment saying that the vulture decline, you take some necessary action. You want any fund, a grant kind of thing, so that we will fund like the volunteer like that. In that one of the meeting, our director also attended, because they asked us to take up vultures program in LaCONES, where we are planning. Already we have demonstrated that conservation breeding program using assisted technologies. So why don't we take up this program to do such a work so that we can breed in vultures like that. So we have taken up program, but when we taken up program, they asked us to go and see where the vultures are available. Only Andhra Pradesh forest department had only 7 vultures. 7 vultures, and we wrote many forest zoos, and nobody has vultures. 1, 2 old, very old and all. So government of Andhra Pradesh told us, why don't you find the vultures in forest? I will give you permission to go and capture and bring them so that we can breed them. So that was the first condition. We started this work. So we started. So they asked us to go and find vultures so that we can breed the vultures and breed them captivity and things like that. That was the condition, and they asked us to do that. When we started looking for vulture, we have employed a person involved with me, and we started working. So we found the literature that what are the species were present at a particular point of time, and we found it very interesting. All the species, almost majority species are found vultures in the past. But and also very interesting observation made by Srinivasulu and his wife in late 1990. They were traveling almost 1,000 kilometers across Andhra Pradesh for various other studies related to their biodiversity studies, and they recorded 8,000 vultures during 1995. So wherever they were, always 100, 200, they returned more, and that paper has been published during 1999, but the observation was made during 1995. So we had enough vulture to be there, but no, we could not see anywhere. So the government asked us to go and search for vulture. If you find, I will give permission to bring like that. We started looking for vulture. At the same time, we also want to know what status of vulture is in Andhra Pradesh. That was the first aim, and what is going on. So we used regular methodology. These are the international methodology, which is called the road transit method, where one will walk across the road or travel the road through road on 20 km speed over a period of time, and the binoculars and observe around, and like that is called the road transit method. And also wherever four-wheeler not going, we used to go by walking, especially for NTCR forest and various national park tigers reserve. Sanctuaries we used by walking method, and we cover so much places. And also we also want to know what status of, it is not possible always that you will go every place we can go, but we also want to know that feedback from other people, so that like who had experienced people, biologists, naturalists, even office in the forest department above range officer level. So we made a questionnaire of some 30-40 questions related to when you saw vulture, how many individuals you saw, did you watch any carcass, what time you saw vulture, and what time you saw carcass without attending vulture, do you find anybody who is selling vulture, anybody carcass you find anywhere, and all kind of information we included, so that we also have another set of information to compare with our own direct observations. And also we also want to know what status of food availability to the vulture, so that this other method called dump yard. There are many dump yard previous publications by various people and they mentioned that there are many places vulture used to be there where in particular dump yards, so people won't watch vultures. And then they're using previous report and the local government office like that where the dump yard is, so that you can go and wait there and see that what is the status of carcass availability to the vulture like that. So this method we followed internationally, but this is the way we almost 4,670 kilometers we used using this vehicle and other transit and traveled. You can say we traveled across these districts. And most of the districts already reported to be vulture presence, and some of them not reported, but our own interest we want to examine like that. And we have also covered the dump yards, which are so-called dump yards, by various publication and by our own knowledge about how the Hyderabad, there are 2 places the dump yard is like that. You want to check like that. We have visited the place to see the presence of carcass as well as vultures. Interestingly, we have come up with some result is like that. So we had 129 transects we made, different size, 4 kilometer to 100 kilometer length we made. As I mentioned previously, this much kilometer used, 4,000 kilometer used by vehicle and 600 kilometer walk. And we found interesting all 3 species which is be there, and it is Bengalensis, Dipsynthicus, and species found, and 20 individuals vulture per seed. 13 long-billed vulture we see, and 2 white-back. This is about 2010. This is, you can say 2010. This is the part. Okay, and 6 Egyptian vulture also see repeatedly 2 places. And we want to compare with the south and north already reported by Prakash, BNS and other people. Interestingly, that almost more than we see that 0.003 individual price per kilometer with reference to 0.08 individual per kilometer walk in North India. So very low density of vulture, encounter rate you can say. Similarly, in the case of white-back vulture also 0.002 individual per kilometer compared to 0.14 individual kilometer which is observed in northern India. Okay, and this sighting we saw. This white-back vulture. This is from literature, which is 1995. The literature, there are many short notes, forest department notes, even our Birdwatch Society notes. There are other experts who have written periodically. We have taken the report and we superimpose this one. This is the one we saw in Vulture. Only 2 places we saw white-back vulture. This is Nagarjuna Sagar, Srisaila, and this is Hyderabad. 2 places. Similarly, long-billed vulture. There are so many places. There is an observation previously, but same place where we found this also we found person. So only 2 places. Once again, this largest forest tract here. This is also the largest forest tract is there. 2 places. Similarly, Eurasian vulture everywhere. But now there are 3 places we saw in Hyderabad and somewhere in Sikapalam, and there are 2 places in Hyderabad district. I feel this particular population we have no much. There are forests here, but this population is maybe a spillover from Maharashtra, where culturally we found many individuals. Last year I went, I just travelled some 25 kilometers. I could see around 80 vultures there. So I feel that this is not an original resident population. Maybe a population of Maharashtra across the river, where we have Chandrapur district and Cultural district. Cultural district is a very high and dense vulture population, and from forest area. But this presence of vulture here is only naturally because this vulture may be depending on this natural population of prey space, basically wild ungulates carcasses. Now it's not see tiger reserve. Other places almost. I'll be surprised to see why there is no vulture here. And this result was very interesting. And only so many kilometers traveled across so many places. We found only 11 carcasses. That is a very heartening, not heartening, it's very bad news, because so otherwise supposed to be one of the largest cattle having state, very largest, very huge state. You could find only 11 carcasses. now during our period of time wherever we talk. And that is only in village 8, and 2 roadside, 1 in the forest. And we visited all the 54 dump yards, so-called dump yards which we dump were supposed to, only dump yard, number of dump yards also declined to 18 individuals. So this also almost vast decline of dump yard. And this shows that it is so huge area with very little food availability. Automatically know what is the reason. I will tell you, come back to later on what is the reason for Andhra Pradesh. But we also have, as I mentioned previously, we had questionnaire surveys. So we had 180 feedback form we got from various people, and 22% people say that they have seen vulture at least once in 5 years. That's very interesting. Maybe because at least they have seen last few years back, and 4% had seen, only 4% has seen that carcasses, but vulture sitting on carcasses. This is only 4%. That also very phenomenon here, and 78% not seen carcasses in last 5 years. I don't think any of you seen recently any carcasses anywhere with dead cattle. This is very interesting. Why? We also asked farmers, what do you do with old cattle which is not useful for any more purpose? What do you do? We will sell immediately. This is a phenomenon, especially in Tamil Nadu, Kannada, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala. In northern, there are more religious people. They don't send this unused or no more useful cows or whatever bulls for slaughterhouse. But South India, especially Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Kannada, when animals not used, no more useful, they sell immediately. They don't keep till death. This is very religious kind of thing is not there. That's the reason everybody said, okay, we don't do it, not there, we sell it. Like that. This is very this other reason is mechanized slaughterhouse are available already. That's the other reason. The high demand of exporting this meat to outside countries, and these people go to the village and collect. That kind of reach out is there by the slaughterhouse people, modernized or mechanized slaughterhouse. That collects all the old animals from our old whatever unused animal, even which is male and which is not useful for purposes. That is the reason we found that I don't think any. We also at the same time we also that 11 carcasses, none of them had diclofenac. I have tested our lab and none of them had diclofenac. So this also shows that Andhra Pradesh is not related to diclofenac. It is related to this phenomenon. And most of the farmers, they are very. They don't want if any by mistake or some reason animal died, either poison or any infectious disease. What they do, just either burn it or kill it or burn it or bury it. And like they used to keep outside village like that. Now that phenomenon is not there because they are also want to be very hygienic. The disease not to spread to other animals. So they are also hygienic wise they are changing their habits. This too leads to natural prey. Basically, this fellow major 90% of prey comes from cattle carcasses. This too is not there. So automatically, that's the reason. Previous my report I was saying. This is the reason why there are two population persons here this year. Both the population depends on prey from natural source. Here all cattle and other things gone here. So there is some kind of natural prey available. Though it's not sufficient to survive, but there is some natural prey source available. Northern seaside type reserve and similar these places. That's why these two populations survive. But now I don't think this population no more exists now. This also. So we conclude that basically our Andhra Pradesh population declined when this paper was published in Folktale outside India. There is an editor strongly objected writing this particular sentence. But I said if you don't want to publish, I don't want to mention. There is a lot of argument with that. We have evidence so I also checked there is no diclofenac species. Everybody is a lobby, kind of lobby people, they say that only diclofenac. I agree, there are reports, there are concerns, but it's not like across India. The locally, there is a population, there are other places, other regions. So that editor asked me to change the word. I said I will not change. If you want to leave it, otherwise you will withdraw our application. And at last I agreed to write it. But he asked me to write one more extent here. That we also know the reason like that. But I said I refused to do like that. So there's a big lobby behind that one. But you don't bother all those things. But what we have said is observed and it has been published also. It's not just I'm telling you orally. It has been scientifically documented by a scientist by other side. This I think various places is there, and we have shown that this way it is objective like we have found 2 populations, and after that we also asked we also checked what is happening later on 2011. A few individuals once again settled, and that also not there in Nagarjuna research. Only we saw Hyderabad. The last cited population in NTCR also is gone. Then I was a member in the biodiversity board, so there is a meeting there, and somebody was asking whether something like this can be taken care by biodiversity board. So we asked them, can you help? Like I asked them. They said no, we'll announce publicly. There are 2-3 newspaper, local newspapers advertised. There's a note about anybody seeing vulture will be given 1 lakh rupees. It has come almost so many newspapers it has come, and nobody responded except one query from Chicago. Some other ways nobody responded. 1 lakh rupees advertisement. It was all local Cellular newspaper advertised. Nobody responded. Nobody. It has given 3 phone numbers. Biodiversity board chairman, biodiversity board member secretary, all gave. Nobody responded. That means maybe whatever the village no vultures exist no more. That is the final I can say. But except there are few individuals who comes from Gadchiroli or other places called Chandrapur. Still Hyderabad is there because spillover population from other side. Otherwise, this population, you know, Nagarjuna, the prey base is very low when compared to anything further. You can go 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers go inside and nothing. You don't find any prey base there. So naturally, the death and normally you go to Mudumala and other places, there are vultures out there. There are 180 vultures we saw recently. Last 2 months back, we saw 80 vultures in Moyer Valley. Because there are good natural population purposes. But unlike in our Andhra Pradesh, because of prey base is very low due to many reasons. So we also recommended that there should be a vulture restaurant. When we found 2 populations, asked government to have a vulture restaurant so that artificial feeding facility 2 places, so that every weekly once or twice the dead animal can be kept there, so that whatever animals there actually they can feed them and survive like that. But it was not taken off. So many roads, so many letters, as you know very well, it does not happen. And as the other people suggested that enforcement of the diclofenac is fully now done. I don't think you don't find any veterinary diclofenac available in any market in India. That's banned past 4 or 5 years banned now. And also we recommended them this conservation breeding program should be started. With this background, what kind of conservation program? This is actually after this series of meetings going on, government of India set up an expert committee to look into the problems. What can be done? So they said that there's a decline so much going on before we stop this eradicate this all diclofenac from the field as well as from usage of animal for various purposes. We need to have something like a safer place like that. So government informed that we should have established some vulture breeding center or temporary places till that diclofenac is cleared from the society or maybe other places. So they initiated that breeding program. Basically, 3 places initiated. Then after our chief officer who went the meeting, they suggested that since the CCAB is there, why don't you bring one more breeding center so that CCAB can be used for the purpose of breeding purpose. So they established 4th one in Hyderabad soon. But this with this we have 271 vultures as of now they have, and Hyderabad they have only 7. We have Andhra Pradesh Forest Department looking for vultures from elsewhere. the training, writing many people, but nobody responded. They are not able to actually get vultures for this purpose. But maybe there's other things involved there. I feel that maybe somebody involved that we should not give to Hyderabad. I don't know. But with this effort, so much crores of money spent, and they could have some possible birth, maybe you can say some 2-3 success there. They are also doing some incubation, collecting eggs from forest and artificially incubating them in these centers. So that also the hatchlings will be serving better than in wild conditions. So they are doing a lot of work in these 3 centers, and now they have almost 270 individuals in 3 centers. So we have, as I said earlier, one of the objective was to study and also develop various technologies for breeding programs. Basically, assistive technologies, which is commonly used for cattle and other purpose. And so government asked us to go ahead with this program, whatever we have, animals to start with like that. So I'm part of this program, so I started working on this. So we want to know, we have no idea about how this semen and male, female. Initially, we don't know how to identify male, female. It's difficult to identify male, female. They are monomorphic birds, not easy to identify. So we have developed techniques called DNA-based techniques, sexing birds, and collecting a feather from that, and we identified the male, female. From that, we kept separately to do all this work. So the objective was to study standardized semen collection procedure. Nobody knows how to collect semen from this animal, and evaluate which male, female is good for this one, and also to store the semen for other insemination procedures, and also to standardize artificial insemination. So we were given only 700 individuals. We went to Pinjur after the central government asked us to go. Mr. Jagati, Chief Editor from Haryana, asked us to go to Pinjur to do this work. When we went there, we were not allowed to handle animal. We were not allowed to touch animal. And that gentleman, Prakash, denied permission as to enter there. But even though Chief Editor asked us to do it, there is a big. We were staying almost 15 days to get some information, but we were not able to do it. We come back. So that's the strategy they have. So whatever we have, 700 will try, whatever is possible. We try. So we want standardized semen collection procedure. We have given more means. Very difficult to handle animals. Once we try to restrain animal in corner, in cages, it will bite very badly and cut just like that. So first time we had a lot of injuries and other things. So my assistant who used to have helmet and helmet, because it just like that, like cut. He cut one's nose like that, just sharp cut. So we used to have that kind of procedure that we could handle and very properly. First time in the world, we can say, and there's a procedure called manual massage method. This has been developed by us, and without tranquilizing animal, just hold animal like this. See, 1, 2, 3 fellows, I'm myself here, the veterinary here, and one fellow hold legs down, one fellow hold legs, other fellow hold that head covered with this one, and massage and ejaculate. I practice animal so that the animal, whenever I massage it, animal ejaculates. This has been this first time anybody in the world could collect semen from vultures. Otherwise, this methodology does not exist. Now, so many people all over the world are using this methodology to collect semen. Once you know this male is good, that once to collect semen, it can be created and kept for some other purpose. That is the idea to know. This we have been successful, repeatedly shown, and it has got publication in very reputed journals on our side. And we also first time, very interestingly, we came out of the interesting semen characteristics of this vulture, and we have contaminated and uncontaminated semen normally. It's birds normally semen collected mammalian species easy to handle and very well to collect also. This particular procedure need, because there is a separate male organ for this animal, so it has to be collected through cloaca. So cloaca has other uric acid fecal matter contamination. So we always we get this other uric acid and it influences our motility parameters. We found first time 58 millions per ml. This is very low. Any birds so far recorded. Most of the birds which have been so far recorded is billions of sperm per ml. but we don't know what reason this bird has so low count of sperm in vulture, no idea. We want to test it from wild capture animals, but we could not do it so far because nobody allowed us to handle wild, because Indian people denied, BNS people denied our permission, our entry there, and they said no, we will not allow you to handle these animals. But still want to check, is this naturally all the birds or only because of vulture like that. And we also first time shown that what is the structure of sperm, other parameters, and also found almost more than 80% of sperms sperms are basically abnormal spermatozoa. This is also some of the not good characteristics of any semen parameters. And we also demonstrated to standardized procedure called semen extender, short-term storage. Once collected semen, immediately sperm will be died. So no idea which material to be used for keep temporary storage, to keep few hours like that. We have used various methodologies, various ready-made available for birds and other diluent, but we have developed other resin alkyl phosphatase, which is one of the supportive diluent for the keeping this sperm motile for quite some time. So these are all things, new things to have, so that we can, anybody want tomorrow start work, is available now. Similarly, we have shown first time this is very interesting finding where we can have more than 33% of original motility. That means normally we get 80%, 30% is very high motility, is higher than cattle, which for so many years they have standardized procedure, but 33% is motility is very high post mortality. We have standardized this procedure using various protocol available. This has a very we have created semen with us now. So you have one semen collected for many birds can be used at a time. Like one collect one semen, and female can be, many people can be inseminated. And this is the first time we have shown that it has very high post-op motility using technology available with us. And with that we have only 3 individuals. Very interestingly, we also shown that these animals are very strictly seasonal. We are trying in the month of July, August, September. We never able to get semen from that. And we have seen the record that there are places breeding years start from October, November, December, January, like that. So we have no clear idea when exactly the animal semen production present. Then we found first week of October, we started with only 45 days for October to November 14th. Only 45 days the semen we could collect from this animal. Otherwise we could not collect any other month. So there are very strictly, this is a unique phenomenon, not only our own knowledge of any birds. Normally semen production, most of the males in birds, animals are throughout year. But in this case vultures, only particular 45 days period and particular month. That was very interesting observation made. So that any reproduction should be in particular month. So we had 3 females. So this procedure we want to establish whether is there anything we can try for insemination using these 3 birds, which are all 3 birds are more than 35 years old, not just young birds. Maybe one of the reasons why we could not succeed. But we also found there are after our semen insemination procedure in zoological park, there are activity 2 times that nest-building activity we saw from 2 birds. So and one time the egg was laid, but it was not fertilized egg. And the reason we don't have not fertilized or fertilized, but still we believe that maybe fertilized egg, but maybe eaten up by other reptiles kept the same cages. So we were given where other reptiles were the same place. So we were not given separate enclosure for this purpose. So we have other species which kept this same enclosure. We used to go and collect and inseminate this animal. That's the reason we find that maybe why we could not succeed this. But if we, because lack of 3 animals and they are very old, and we have stopped this work part of other animals. But the government of Andhra Pradesh says, you show me any birds, I give permission, go collect. But I don't think any birds is there. We could not find any birds in Andhra Pradesh. With this, I would like to, I'm going to end my talk. What can be done now? There there are many things can be done. One is like basically, you know, the population is there are many news. Most of the published information are from northern India, from Rajasthan, western UP, northern UP, and northeast India, but no systematic studies in southern India, especially Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. And recently we found there is a good population in Wayanad, where Nagarjuna Wayanad, where more than 80 vultures are found. Similarly, 100 plus vultures are found in Muthumalai Moyargadi. So that need to be still, we don't know what actual population especially in South India, and that need to be technically immediately so that we know what is going on. And also cause of decline, as I mentioned earlier, cause of decline is region wise, not just one diclofenac. As I mentioned here, and you know, there is no carcass in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, there is no chance of any vultures. The simple reason. So there is no use of any. In my village, in my neighbor village, never had any. Last 20 years, never we had any death of any cattle which we can throw for a vulture. So there is no automatically slow decline. But they observed medical praise, they came up with an interesting phenomenon. But this nothingness still may be reason that diclofenac use, indiscriminate use of diclofenac leads to death of. But it's not the case for all the places, especially southern India, where we are not so much that kind of religious towards bull and cattle to keep till the death at home and teach them till one day before death also. Because diclofenac metabolized within 48 hours. So animal died before 48 hours, last death before one day only if you inject there is a reminder. Otherwise it also metabolizes. So nobody gives treatment till last one day before. So that kind of things we don't find. And we strongly suggest that the store of natural prey base and the protected areas and the forest. This is especially true in the case of Muthumalai, and there is a large number of prey base and carcasses which are resulting very good natural population. People say that very good population is there. So there is no diclofenac, no cattle, but still surviving because of the natural prey base which need to be restored, especially in our forest area, Nagarjuna and other places. If there are good ungulate population and there is a good prey base, there is a kill, vulture will come immediately. But this is a prey, even type 1 get prey, there is a vultures. And also we suggest that that vulture restaurant, there are population can be attracted because the vulture might fly 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers. It travels 40 kilometers, 80 kilometers across within a day, 100 kilometers goes. So there is a still good chance that if you have a vulture restaurant, you can bring back and maintain the natural prey base so that that can be natural population and the sustainable population. And also continue to do conservation breeding program. And also you know, this kind of program will take slow. You know, we have last 2001 onwards, now almost 11 years there is a long, there are so many 200 birds are kept. Only 5, 6, 10 birds were produced, so much money invested. But if we use asset-driven technologies for one animal semen collection and inseminate 10-15 animals, induce animals, there are, you know, the birds needs to fly. The physiology mechanisms should come up from its own body. Not only that seasonality and changes, egg-laying capacity will come. That need to be, that can be imitated by giving artificially injection or artificially feeding them. So that kind of thing can be done. There are already proven record, especially America, where bald eagle was when almost was going to extinct. They used this technology, bring back to few thousands now. They used it very effectively. But our government, they are this kind of technologists and involving like that. There are few people who they want this rate to go, but it may take maybe another 20 years to bring such a population. Since they are very slow breeder, you know, they lay 1 egg or 2 egg per year. So if successful, fine. If not successful, it's not. You know, the close environment, do you think the animal won't mate? So you know, this bird needs so many space to mate, fly out like that. That is not happening. It takes some, that's what this technology may help, and it has been proven as well other species. Still can be used. And periodic monitoring of population, and other disease. There are just one coming before I read. There is one more article, and there are places where the people use find that there are some diseases, other diseases, viral diseases still the reason for the decline of the population. So still we don't know what other disease involved, because when works et al. Published paper in Pakistan where that was the reason, he could only find 85% of birds died because of that cloning. Still 15% he had no reason to tell. Okay, so there is something else is there. So they did extensive studies, everything, but they are not able to find out what is the other 50% bird declining from Pakistan. So we still, I suspect, other diseases. I think my colleague also recently reported that even malarial species, even malaria in Vulture district, was the reason. There are 10 birds died. We found very high number of malarial parasites in blood. And the local veterinarian treated 3 of them with the malarial, anti-malarial treatment. The 3 of them survived. They had same neck drooping kind of thing. Animal was lying on the roadside. This was brought, and we found a symptom of this kind of thing. He treated his own 3 birds. One of the birds also we went and released the data. So there are so many issues involved. Just one decline. There are other. My knowledge, there are other issues involved still that need to be taken care of. And once you know, as their original, I say that still decline. I feel now still that decline is almost not exist in our system. And once this are established, that will be released back with especially forest area where Hyderabad, where natural prey base is there. Because our lifestyle, society, we have changed our cultural, traditional way of doing. So I don't think we are able to still get enough natural prey for this culture. So that this can be released in the natural forest where regular food available for these animals. With this, I think I can end my talk. My colleague, my Sheikh Hussain, who worked with me 2-3 projects. One of the projects he initiated with me to Vultures is now working with somebody else, and Cellular and Molecular Biology involved, and Cellular for Conservation